If you ask someone in their 20s what they fear most about getting old, they'll tell you it's the body failing. They think it's the arthritis that makes your knuckles swell like walnuts. They think it's the indignity of forgetting where you put your keys, or the way your skin thins out until it looks like wet tissue paper. They are wrong. Physical pain is a given. You learn to live with it. It becomes background noise. No, the hardest part of being 78 isn't what happens to your body. The hardest part is the absolute, crushing weight of the things you didn't do. It is the realization, the sickening cold realization that you spent your entire life being responsible, only to wake up and find that you successfully protected yourself from actually living. And the most terrifying part, I committed the greatest crime a person can commit against their own soul, and I did it with a smile on my face. For 42 years, I was a pediatric nurse. For 48 years, I was a wife to a quiet, gentle man named Arthur. And for 50 years, I have been a mother. I was the anchor. I was the one who kept the ship upright. Oh, I was so proud of my exhaustion. I wore it like a badge of honor. I can still smell the sharp, metallic tang of the hospital sanitizer on my hands. I can still feel the stiff, starchy collar of my uniform rutting the back of my neck at 3 a.m. Whenever Arthur would come to me with a spark in his eye, holding a brochure for a cabin in Vermont, or tickets to a Broadway show we couldn't really afford, I was the one who put the fire out. Always the voice of reason. Not now, Artie, I'd say. The roof needs patching. Or, let's put that money in the girls' college fund. Or, once I get my pension, then we'll go. Once, then, someday. Those are the most dangerous words in the English language. I convinced myself that sacrifice was the highest form of love. I kept the house immaculate. You couldn't find a speck of dust on my dining room table. Our savings account grew slowly, steadily. I thought I was building a fortress to protect us from the unpredictability of the world. I didn't realize I was building a prison. I thought we had an endless supply of tomorrows. I thought someday was a real place on a map, a destination we would eventually arrive at. I traded the vibrant, messy, beautiful now for a perfectly safe, utterly hollow later. Arthur passed away 5 years ago. Pancreatic cancer. It took him in 4 months. He never made it to someday. But the moment that truly broke me, the moment my grand illusion shattered, didn't happen at his funeral. It happened 2 years later, on a random, unremarkable Tuesday afternoon. I was up in the attic, sorting through old boxes to donate. The air up there was thick, smelling of dried pine needles and old cardboard. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that rings in your ears. I moved a heavy stack of winter coats, and beneath it, I found a heavy, dark mahogany wooden box. Arthur's old humidor. Only he hadn't smoked in decades. I opened it. Inside, there weren't cigars. There were dozens of little slips of paper, receipts, torn edges of napkins, the backs of old envelopes. I picked one up. The paper was yellowed, brittle between my fingers. On it, in Arthur's familiar, slanted handwriting, it said, "Take Evie to see the cherry blossoms in D.C., spring 1998. I picked up another, buy the canvas and oils. Let her paint again, 2003. Another, drive up the coast with no map, just us, 2010. He had kept a record, a ledger of every dream I had ever vetoed in the name of being practical. He wrote them down, hoping that one day I would finally say yes. At the bottom of the box was a small, velvet jewelry case. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely open the clasp. Inside was a pair of silver earrings, shaped like tiny sailboats. Tucked behind them was a note for our retirement trip to the Mediterranean. I know we'll get there, my love. Patiently waiting, Artie. I sat on the cold plywood floor of that attic, clutching those silver sailboats, and I wailed. I didn't cry, I wailed. It was a guttural, ugly sound, torn straight from the bottom of my lungs. In that dusty, suffocating room, the truth hit me with the force of a freight train. The money in the bank didn't matter. The perfectly patched roof didn't matter. The immaculate dining room table was just a piece of dead wood. I had saved everything for a future that never arrived, and in doing so, I let my present rot on the vine. I killed our joy with 1,000 tiny practical cuts. I am 78 years old. I live in a house that is entirely too big, surrounded by things that are entirely too quiet. Every day, I walk past the good china in the cabinet. It's been sitting there for 30 years, waiting for a special enough occasion. Listen to me. You, watching this right now, I know exactly what you're doing. You're sitting on your phone, scrolling to numb your mind. You have a dream in your head that you've pushed down, a trip you want to take, a career you want to try, an apology you need to make, a person you want to kiss, and you are telling yourself, not now. I need more money. I need more time. I need the timing to be perfect. The timing will never be perfect. The stars will never align. You will never feel 100% ready. The hardest part of getting older isn't the ghost of the things you did wrong. It is the agonizing, suffocating phantom pain of the things you never did at all. It is the agonizing silence of the some days that turned into nevers. Do not wait until you are sitting alone in an attic, clutching a piece of faded paper, realizing that the only thing you successfully saved was your regret. Take the trip, spend the money, eat off the good china on a random Tuesday, quit the job that is grinding your soul into dust. Love fiercely, recklessly, and loudly. You do not get a medal at the end of your life for being the most practical person in the graveyard. You only get one chance at this breathless, beautiful, terrifying thing called life. Don't let your battery corrode while you're waiting for the right moment to turn it on. Live, please, while you still have the legs to run and the heart to feel it.